To Helen Roundup with you is Iko Kuchido Kemba. It's been a wonderful weekend, and I confess it. It's been wonderful around here in Abuja. I don't know where else in Nigeria. How you coping with this draconian and epileptic power coming from APC? And APC has been showing us that it cannot lead us to the promised land. But we hope, and we actually hoping that Atiku actually recovers Nigeria. And I have a guest in the house, but I'm going to keep you stay tuned to that. We have a lot that have been going on in the country. Most especially, we had the Youth Presidential Council being inaugurated. And elsewhere in other states, we've been having states presidential campaign councils being inaugurated. And you can take it that PDP is actually the only party which is ready, prepared, and ready to recover Nigeria from this inept administration of the APC. And let me introduce my guest to you now. Welcome on the show, Governor Ono.
Thank you so very much, Kimba.
It's wonderful to see you this morning.
Thank you.
We know that the country is not treating us right, but we have to actually keep the hope alive.
Yes, of course.
Administration coming very, very soon, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. On a quick one.
Okay.
There was the inauguration of the Youth Campaign Council by the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Alhaji Atiku, the only prepared candidate. And how was it like?
Yeah, you see, the truth is this. Atiku Abubakar, if you ask me, I keep telling people that he has come prepared. He knows what he wants to do. He is not going to be this president that will find it difficult to deliver on his promises. He actually made a promise to Nigerians, especially the youth, that if he gets elected, that he will cede about 40% of he will give like 40% stake to the youth. And I think he has demonstrated that by insisting that we put together a youth campaign council. So what it means is that Atiku is keeping his promise. So he's now allowing the youth to run this campaign and also prepare them to take over once he gets elected. And I think it's a very good position coming from His Excellency Atiku Abubakar and then the PDP. It's a welcome development.
The position of the presidential candidate.
Yeah.
We are also aware that most of these youths that made up the campaign council, youth campaign council, actually from the 36 states of the federation. And do you see this as a true representation of the youth of the PDP?
Yes. If you ask me, it's a true representation. You know, we have offices in 36 states, including the FCT, making it 37. So we have youth offices spread across. So what it means is that we got representation from all the states, including the FCT, I think about 2 or 3. If you do that number by 37, you have close to like 100 or thereabout or more. And then we also got some other youth from the
this morning at this breakfast interactive session. The guy who asked about restructuring as far as he was concerned, what he meant or what he understands, because he's from Niger Delta, is just resource control. It is more than resource control, because that's why I say restructuring and devolution of powers and resources. Yes, you will get more resources, but we'll also give you more responsibilities commensurate with the resources we give you, so that you don't turn around and blame the federal government all the time when you don't utilize your resources. Let me express a great disappointment. We created the Niger Delta Ministry, and in fact, it was in a paper which we developed together with intellectuals from Niger Delta. I remember it was in that paper that we came about the issue of amnesty, creation of Niger Delta Ministry, and so on and so forth.
In my own opinion, I did not think that the right thing to have been done was to do a ban What he needed to do was to study the situation and to educate our people more on it and to put in regulatory processes that is workable and beneficial to our people and to government.
Atiku for the rescue mission, Okowa for the rescue mission, Nigerians for the rescue mission. Everybody in the fire, bring just the wanna say. Atiku on the rescue mission, Okowa for the rescue mission.
Edo is for Atiku. I am sure we are going to win this election by the grace of God. The unifier is going to win this election, is going to unify Nigeria. So I call on everybody in Nigeria to come out and vote for Atiku, the unifier.
For president, Atiku is coming, Atiku for president.
There's an urgent need to salvage Nigeria, and the only person who is going to do that is Alhaji Atiku Abubakar and the PDP. You can see the massive turnout. You can see how happy the people are to identify with this project.
We are coming to rescue and to restore our situation to our pride of place in Africa. There is disunity everywhere because of bad policies. The People's Democratic Party is presenting you two outstanding people who are experienced, who know what to do, who have done it before, and who will do it again.
They give us confidence.
I am one of you, and together we shall deliver the votes that will enable Atiku come as president of this country. I want to thank Edo people for sticking together with PDP. Edo no be labels. We call on you to continue to be loyal to PDP, and PDP will be loyal to you. My fellow people of Edo State, I have come here to make these undertakings, and I promise you we will fulfill our promises.
Sorry for that little technical glitch. I was asking Governor Onu before we went on that little break. The issue about the YCC. In the past, we've heard about the candidates' children not being participatory in their campaigns. But in the time of Atiku, we've seen that mostly his children and even his relatives are mostly much in the forefront of this campaign. What this development tends to portend for the nation?
You see, like I said earlier, I said that Atiku came prepared, and so we're leaving no stone unturned. You know, it's very good that people are seeing that Atiku and his children or relatives, they are leading this campaign, or they are at the forefront of this campaign. It tells you that it is everybody's project. It tells you that people around Atiku also want him to succeed. You know, so they are giving him all the support, and everybody is ensuring that whatever that needs to be done for a smooth campaign or a total victory is achieved. That is what we're trying to do, and that is what the candidate and his relative are trying to achieve also, by making sure that everybody's part of the campaign. It's everybody's project.
Yeah, it seems very affirmative that with Atiku, the youths are going to be more participatory in the governance, and you spoke also about the women. So going forward, during the weekend also, our candidates for the presidential election, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, he had an interactive session with the young business community of this nation. And in that meeting, he actually made mention of critical things that actually are issue-based in this country. He talked about restructuring. Why his vice, Governor, His Excellency Governor Ifeanyi Okowa, also spoke about cryptocurrency, a kind of controversy that held bound in this country, whereby the government of the current administration, President Muhammadu Buhari, placed a ban on cryptocurrency. And probably let's go to the screen now and see what the candidate had to say about that.
This morning at this breakfast interactive session, The guy who asked about restructuring as far as he was concerned, what he meant or what he understands, because he's from Niger Delta, is just resource control. It is more than resource control, because that's why I say restructuring and devolution of powers and resources. Yes, you will get more resources, but we'll also give you more responsibilities commensurate with the resources we give you, so that so that you don't turn around and blame the federal government all the time when you don't utilize your resources. Let me express a great disappointment. We created the Niger Delta Ministry. And in fact, it was in a paper which we developed together with intellectuals from Niger Delta. I remember it was in that paper that we came about the issue of amnesty, creation of Niger Delta Ministry, and so on and so forth.
In my own opinion, I did not think that the right thing to have been done was to do a ban. What we needed to do was to study the situation and to educate our people more on it, and to put in regulatory processes that is workable and beneficial to our people and to government.
About restructuring, not just about resource control, but actually the evolution of power and trying to make these resources available to every region of this country. You are in this forum where he discussed about this. Can you throw more light?
Atiku for the rescue mission, Okowa for the rescue mission, Nigerians for the rescue mission. Everybody who dey fire, people just dey wanna say Atiku on the rescue mission.
He ended up telling the guy that the solution really is not just resource control. It should be a holistic approach, to take a second look at, the very fabric of Nigeria, the way we do things, and that is where restructuring comes in. So it has to be a holistic approach if you're going to get results. So if you just, okay, fine, let's give resource control, let's make people control whatever it is they generate, it's not going to solve insecurity. It's not even going to put food on the table. It's not going to solve education challenges. It's not going to solve a whole lot of issues. So I think the solution really will be a holistic approach targeted at restructuring Nigeria, and that is one thing Atiku Abubakar has never failed to drive home. And I think it's the best that Nigeria can get right now. We need to take a second look at the entity called Nigeria.
You talked about the holistic approach here. And looking at the business, because this was the business forum.
Yes.
Yeah. And how exactly is Atiku looking at articulating the business society, the business community we have in Nigeria to actually bring up our GDP and bring in possible FDI to the nation?
Through this, the first charge of every government is security. You have provided security, you have, laid the foundation for development. Now, a lot of businesses are closing down because of insecurity. So Atiku, in his 5-point agenda, he talked about security first. He said he's going to ensure that there's security. People will be able to move from one point to the other freely without, without the threat of being kidnapped, or without the threat of maybe terrorist activities and all of that. So in addressing or trying to ensure that the economy thrives, Atiku Abubakar is going to first of all ensure that there's security. And I think that if you have provided security, you have done more than half of the job. People now have confidence to be able to go around. They will have confidence to invest wherever it is they want to invest. So our challenge right now is insecurity. Atiku has identified that. He has said times and time again that he is going to ensure that there is security. Once you have provided security, you have solved the problem at least by 50%.
looking at ease of doing business, looking at this administration, that's
Yes.
the Muhammad Buhari administration, and looking at exactly how people have been complaining about the monopoly play that has been going on with our business community.
Yes.
And looking at the economy itself, it has been in shambles, looking at the value of Naira as it is. And a critical question was asked, and is asked at that event. And looking at the position of the former vice president, who used to be the chairman of the Economic Council from 1999 to 2007, and looking at his vice at this time, his answer to cryptocurrency, which actually gave me a kind of nudge. And these people are actually thinking about the present-day economy, and they're not thinking about the backward. He said, this cryptocurrency shouldn't have been banned. What's your take on this?
Yeah, the truth is this. I will go back to my position earlier that you see the team we have right now, they are the most prepared. Atiku on one hand, experience, and he has been able to do a whole lot, in government, while he was serving with the custom, while he was also vice president, he did a whole lot, and then we have Okowa, who is doing very well as a governor. In fact, they call him the roadmaster in Delta State. So if you ask me, we have a perfect combination. We have a perfect team. So the answer from Okowa is a confirmation that they came prepared. You see, it was the whole problem around the crypto banning and all of that. It wasn't the right thing for the government of Muhammadu Buhari and the APC. It wasn't the right thing for them to do. You could have, to a very large extent, a lot of people don't understand what this crypto is. And whether you like it or not, crypto has liberated a whole lot of people. It has taken them out of poverty. It has put wealth. It has made them wealthy. It has put money in their pocket. So it is a solution, if you ask me. Yeah, but then again, if it is something that we're going to be able to live with, that is another question for another day entirely. So the right thing for any responsible government to do would have been to understudy the process and see where we can make amends, and then you could create a situation whereby you lecture the people, you tell people about the crypto, what it's all about, and if there are gray areas, we try to address them, and if there's any need for you to advise the people against taking too much risk with crypto and all of that, that is what the government should have done. That is what a responsible government should have. But the government we have today, I don't like talking down my government, the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, because there's no country we can call us apart from Nigeria. So I think that approach wasn't right. They should have understudied the process, just like Okowa said.
Sorry, talking about an approach here. We should look at the policies that have been put to there's a plan, that's the COVID plan for our candidate, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. He talked exactly about the economy, diversifying the economy, the evolution of power. These two things, I think, they flow they're a kind of symmetrical flow here. But looking at exactly what policy is going to put in place, as that's where I'm looking at here, because you're talking about ease of doing business now, because look at people are complaining about one particular person having monopoly of importation, having monopoly of actually doing the business alone. So now Atiku is saying that he's going to bring in more players into the market space. And we are talking about foreign direct investment. And if we are going to be talking about foreign direct investment, and Atiku is opening the market, are you looking at about our kind of kickstart? Because he talked about injecting about $2 billion into the kind of stimulus package for the economy. Looking at all this holistic approach, where do you see Nigeria if Atiku Abubakar is elected in 2023?
Where do I see Nigeria? That's the question, right? If you follow politics from say 1999, you know that if Atiku is able to, he's been there before, and he's been able to do a whole lot of things. In 1999, we were all here when Atiku and Obasanjo and Atiku took over, and then Atiku as the vice president. We saw the Paris Fund, we saw the debt cancellation and all of that. So I think the same person is coming to ask for a vote in 2023, and he says that if he gets there, it's going to work. I think we should give him a chance, because for me, it is experience at this point. Somebody who's been there, somebody who has something to show. And if you look at the whole campaign around Atiku, I keep telling you that he came prepared. Atiku was the first candidate to kickstart his campaign. He was also the first candidate to present to Nigerians a policy document. He said, look, look at what I'm going to do if you elect me. It took the other candidates almost forever for them to even come up with any document, to even try to tell Nigerians that, look, this is what I'm going to do. And so the man has recorded a whole lot of first. So 2023, I think it's going to be consolidation. If he eventually gets elected as president because of his owing to his track record, because of the things he has been able to achieve as a private Nigerian, as a government official, I think Nigeria will in no time take shape again.
Yeah, talking about Nigeria taking shape, I think we should give it to Atiku Abubakar, who for one has actually laid down several policies for this nation. And you can see even the present-day government has actually taken up some of his policies.
Of course.
Actually adopted his NNPC
of course.
must-go decision that that government has no business doing business. That what they should be doing is actually doing what regulatory and monitoring the market, taxation, and knowing exactly where the market flow is. And looking at that, during the weekend, the Northern Elders Forum actually adopted the Atiku Abubakar as their only candidate for the 2023 election, and asking Senator Rabi Kwankwaso, the presidential candidate of NNPP, to actually collapse the structure for the Atiku Abubakar campaign. What do you take from this? I think
it's the right way to go. You know, it's timely coming from the Northern Elders Forum. You see, what people don't know about 2023, if you ask me, it's a little bit discouraging. It is working, you know, in the favor of the PDP and Atiku Abubakar. You see, no one region in Nigeria, the way it is, can produce a president. The constitution is very clear. You must score certain number of votes in about 24, 25 states. So we need alliance. We need to also talk to the other regions and say, look, I want you to support me, and then maybe in the next election I'll support you and all of that. But we've not seen all of that. And Atiku Abubakar, as a candidate of the PDP, is the only candidate that is going to score 25% of the total vote cast in 37 states, including the FCT.
You're affirmative about that.
No, it's a reality. PDP is on ground. There's no way PDP will score 25% in 37 states, including the FCT. That is sure. And we're going to win at least over 20-something states. I know what I'm saying. You've been talking about the Northern Elders Forum. They are the owners of the vote. They are the ones, they are the region with the highest number of votes. And they have come out to say, since this election has been regionalized, we're going to stand by our own. And they will have like two candidates. We're going to stand by Atiku Abubakar. And I think calling on Kwankwaso to collapse the structure for is the way to go. Because Kwankwaso does not have the spread. His popularity does not go beyond Kano and Jigawa State. So I think calling on him at this point to support Atiku Abubakar is the right thing to go. The right thing to do, rather.
You're trying to tell us that this present position actually tips the favor in the direction of the PDP candidate, Atiku Abubakar. And looking at what has been going on with the G5 governors, who actually has been standing in and for the agitation of fairness, integrity, and justice. And one will look at what is going on presently with the discussion. It has gone to reconciliation. And everyone is in PDP actually becoming hopeful that this is going to be a very, very interesting campaign and an election which is going to be fruitful for the candidate of the PDP. How do you see this flow of reconciliation at this point?
You see, the G5 governors, I think that he is going to work for the party. He has said that repeatedly, and it is in the public pool. People can, you can check the dailies, and you see that he has been saying that I am not leaving the party. It's a normal thing for people to disagree. Even parents will disagree, children, family members will disagree. It's a normal thing. They are simply asking that certain conditions be met. And we're saying that, yes, it is true, but we will not, it is a risk we cannot take right now. I keep telling people that if you ask, are you to go at this point, another, the next in line is the deputy chairman from the north, the president of Damagun, who happens to come from northeast as Atiku Abubakar. But we have Ayu, who is from north central, which is, to me, is a little, we can even manage that. And we're saying that, yes, we are going to, Ayu will go, but it has to be after the election. We have an election to execute. We don't have the luxury of, it is only a convention that can successfully remove Ayu, and we cannot afford a convention now. For you to successfully organize a convention, you need at least 2 to 3 months. And the election, we're in November. Election is in another 2 or 3 months. So at the time when people are going around Nigeria looking for vote, We cannot go around Nigeria to gather our delegates and organize another convention. Yes, we go. We have agreed that. I think we've gone past that stage. We're simply saying we need more time to be able to successfully remove him. And I think it's not asking for too much. So the G5 governors, the agitations, if you ask me, they are valid. Politics is a game of interest. They are saying that, yes, this is what we want. And we're saying they should see reasons with us that, yes, their positions or agitations are very valid, but we cannot just afford it right now. So, and I think at the end of the day, we are going to also, everybody will, one thing about PDP is the fact that we have this internal mechanism that is able to resolve all differences. Sometimes it will take time, but at the end of it, everybody will return back to the fold.
I was going to that. I was talking about the vacation factor of the person of Atiku Abubakar.
Yes.
Because he has stated categorically that the negotiating window is very much open to everyone and not just to Wike. To any agitation that is arising, that it's always this way. Every home has its own conflicts and they have a way of resolving it. What we want to ask a question. Is there a way of actually nipping these agitations before they arise, before they get to a stage where it becomes a daily occurrence in the newspaper?
As far as there's politics, there's bound to be interest. Politics is primarily about interest. So people will always agitate in any political setting. So that there's no agitation in a political, it is going to be totally difficult. It is going to be impossible. Truth is, what you want or what you feel is right might not be what is right to the next person. So, and all interests in any political setting must be accommodated. So it is in trying to accommodate this interest that maybe you now find out that you're not able to do that. You now find out that there are agitations. You're probably saying that, okay, yes, your interest, what you're asking for is valid, but can you give us little time? And then the next person says, no, I want it now. That is what is happening in the case of the PDP. And we cannot completely, even if you look at what's happening in the UK, we had somebody who was the prime minister, right? Was it Boris Johnson or who? He left and then somebody came and the person has resigned again. Why? Yes. And she said that the promises she made, she don't see herself being able to achieve those. So these are agitations, you understand? In every political setting, there must be differences, right? So you cannot take away agitation from any political setting. So we can, nipping at the bud is another conversation for another day to ensure that we don't go out to wash our dirty linens in public. Yes, I think we need to focus more on that so that we don't always find ourselves in this kind of situation.
You're talking about differences. We are happy that the Middle Belt Forum has also called on Governor Ortom, that's the governor of Benue State,
yes,
and the party's candidates, Atiku Abubakar, to actually come to a roundtable and fix the differences. And everyone is applauding this because this is coming from Governor Ortom's state and judging from the utterances that have gone for the past weekend. And he actually owning up. And people are saying this is beautiful enough, that democracy is beautiful, that you could actually say a thing as a leader and come out publicly and actually apologize. And they're looking at PDP as a kind of a party that has this human face and we have to see structure as something that it can actually rely on. What do you see going forward with the Ortom Abubakar?
The truth is this, right? You see, every close watcher of Nigeria's politics will know at this point that Atiku Abubakar is the next president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The handwritings are there. It's very clear. Atiku is going to win overwhelmingly. So for different groups, coming and trying to make a case for Atiku at this point, it's only normal. People will always want to identify with what is working. Nobody wants to identify with failure. So for people calling for Middle Belt Elders Forum, calling on Governor Ortom to come back to the fold and make peace with Atiku, it's only normal. Because they understand that Atiku Abubakar is the next president of Nigeria. The odds favor him right now. So everybody will ordinarily want to identify with Atiku Abubakar. So it's not surprising to me. But for my governor, he's my governor. I'm from Benue State. I think that statement coming from him, to a very large extent, it is a little not what should come from a leader. And I am very happy that he apologized, and I think we've moved from that point now, and we're seeing how we can, win the next election. We have an election to to execute. And what is most important is for PDP to come out tops, because 2023 is sacrosanct. It's very important for the PDP. It is a make or break election for us. We have no option than to win. PDP, as it stands, is the only party that is prepared to rescue Nigeria. We've done that before, and we will do it again. So I will urge the electorates to stick to what works. PDP from 1999 to 2015, we saw how, we moved from one of the poorest countries, and we were able to, fastest developing country. We were able to, a lot of things work for us, a lot of holistic revolution and all of that. So I think Nigerians are wiser now. They have tested both sides, and they have seen that Atiku Abubakar and the PDP remains the only viable option.
Well, thank you very much, Governor, the National Secretary of the PDP New Media Group. And you've touched very much on viable issues there, talking about unification of this country, talking about the security, and looking at the plan, the recovery plan of Atiku Abubakar. We talked about state policing. I'm glad that you're actually not happy with what your governor did. And we all say we have moved on, and let's actually unite this country. And talking to Nigerians now, this is an election that will actually change the course of this nation. We all must actually focus on our civic rights, civic duty, and actually come out well. And don't forget that this is an election for you all. We need to recover Nigeria. It's a sick nation, and only Atiku can actually rescue and recover and actually give us a nation that we can call a Nigerian dream. Thank you very much for coming on the show today.
Thank you so very much.
Join us again tomorrow. My name is AtikuLive. Don't forget to follow us on all our social media handles, AtikuLive. Join us again tomorrow. Bye.